Hello, and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is a podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show, Survivor. This week we're covering episode 6 of Survivor season 49, and I'm just so excited to get into it. But before that, I have to ask Riley, how are you?
I'm doing so well, thank you for asking. I have to talk about a topic I haven't talked about recently. But we know I've been obsessing over this year. Tennis. You guys, the tennis season is coming to an end. Isn't that heartbreaking?
That is.
I know y'all are just as sad as I am about it. This week, literally today, this morning, the WTA finals, the women's tennis league, they started their finals today, and then next week is the start of the men's finals, which I don't really give a fuck about, if I'm being honest. But girl, we support women in this house, that's all I'm saying. I'm just so excited. I can't believe I watched the full season of tennis. Like, that is kind of crazy. Obviously there was like on and off a little bit. It's
When
really
did
hard.
it start?
It starts in January.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a really long season. And that, that's a conversation for another day. A lot of the tennis players are not happy right now, but they get paid millions of dollars, so whatever. What was I saying? I'm just excited. I can't believe I watched the full season of tennis. I think the most inconvenient place to live is within the Pacific Standard Time Zone if you're a tennis fan, because it literally, like, the only major tennis tournament that happens in this time zone is Indian Wells, and that is literally one tournament of the 20 major ones. I don't know, but all that to say is that it's good. I got up early this morning so I could watch the first match. The two singles matches today were kind of booty cheeks, unfortunately. I was kind of really excited this afternoon. I was like, yes, I'm gonna watch tennis. It's gonna be so fun. And they both kind of flopped, unfortunately. But out of the 8 top women that are seated in the finals, 4 of them are Americans. Isn't that kind of iconic?
Love.
Yeah, so we're rooting for the Americans. Obviously, Coco Gauff take it away. But yeah, my other favorite, Amanda Anisimova, one of the Americans. If she does well, that's great. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch over the next week a goodbye to my inaugural tennis season.
Wow.
Isn't it just like, I'm like, oh my god, like I love having a hobby,
That is fun. And I mean, such a long season. That's crazy.
It is a long season. But again, they get paid a lot of money, so I just think sometimes this is how I know, like, I might be gay, but I'm still a man at the end of the day, and sometimes I'm just like, it can't be that hard. No, because sometimes I'm like, at the end of the day,
if you had the opportunity from a young age to become a
that's what I'm
tennis player.
saying, and that's the man inside of me. At the end of the day, that's like me being a man in a patriarchal society. I'm just like, no, had I been given the opportunity at a young age, I probably would be like the top American in the world, and I probably would win. Girl, like, win 1 Grand Slam and you're winning like $1 million. For 1 Grand Slam,
Wow.
that's 2 weeks of playing tennis, and you play, 6 matches? 6 matches of tennis and you win $1 million. I don't know. I can't know if it's 6, but I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah.
oh, plus all their brand deals and sponsorships on top of that.
Yeah.
Y'all, like, I feel like next year you guys are gonna see me on the tennis court. That's all I'm saying.
Don't be surprised is all I'm saying.
Don't be surprised when
frankly, we have to end the podcast because
Frankly, we have to end the podcast because I gotta be too
player.
busy. When you do actually see me on the tennis court next year, but it's because I'm a ball kid and not because I'm playing tennis.
Right.
Anyway, that's how I am. I really
No, you'll be in your Zendaya era, and there's sort of
so
two
true.
men
Am I challenges
playing.
are some of the challenge? Y'all, we are recording this on November 1st. Halloween was yesterday. Some of the challenges costumes this year were kind of hot. That's all I have to say. Like, come on, women, get your white boys together and like make it work. Like, black girls, collect your white men, make them kiss.
Yes.
Like, that's just what you have to do. I feel like this was a good, I feel like it was to reflect on Halloween. It was a good Halloween for costumes. I feel like I saw a lot of people being very creative on the social media apps yesterday.
I have been loving watching the coverage of last night's Halloween costumes on TikTok.
A lot of Superman, which I was in.
Really?
I've been saying a lot of Superman. Specifically, friend of the pod, University of Puget. Oh,
I feel like you can say it.
I guess I could now. The college that I graduated from. Survivor. I guess she's an alumni. She never won. Oh, did she? I can't remember. Cavani. She had such a cute costume. I saw on her TikTok yesterday. She had a little Superman shirt on, but she was like giving office siren.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I get it.
But then
I
she
get
had
the
like the
vision.
Superman shirt under. I was
Yes.
like, this is so cute. Like, you are that girl. It was a good costume year, I feel.
Love, yeah.
Maddie, I have to ask how you're doing.
Thank you for asking. I spent this last week in Mexico.
Mexico!
I was waiting for that. And it was so fun. It was so gorgeous. The warm weather was beautiful. The warm water was stunning. And I really had the best time. We were there with my mother-in-law and her soon-to-be husband and their family and friends. But what I really want to talk about is I did something huge. I made a decision before going on this trip that I was going to do something I'd never done before in my 24, going on 25 years of life. And I did not bring my pink blanket with me.
Oh, gag. Gag on that.
Know me. My pink blanket is my baby blanket. Her name is Peebs for short. Pink blanket. Pink blanket is the legal name. I did not bring Peebs with me on this trip. I made the decision that I just couldn't risk it. Mm-hmm. I get nervous traveling with Peebs every time. I think it like adds. This is gonna sound so crazy. I think bringing Peebs on flights with me like increases my flight anxiety because I can't help but if something happened, I'd have to take time to grab Peebs out of my bag. And I've always kept her in my backpack that goes under the seat just for easy access. But I'm nothing if I don't have that blanket. And so I made the decision to keep Peebs at home. And guys, I survived 5 nights without pink blanket. If you know me, you know that's crazy. That has never been. I've never spent more than 2 nights away from Peebs, ever.
You would take Peebs. Would you take Peebs? Oh, you would, because there's a picture on my blanket. To camp with us, outdoor school.
Yes, Peebs has gone to France. Peebs has gone literally on every single other trip. This is the first time Peebs was left at home. I just couldn't risk it. I was scared.
I'm really interested about this being the one you didn't want to risk out of all of your other travel.
Maybe I'm growing up.
You know what's killing me the most about this whole thing?
Huh?
Is that you've been
What?
You've been wanting to share this with me since October 20th.
No. Not share it with you. But I knew that I needed something specific to talk about from the trip to be what I wanted to talk about.
There are a lot.
I made that decision.
I'm really excited for you. I know you personally, and this is a really exciting and a really big moment. You could have shared anything else from your trip. And I'm happy that you shared this with me, but the thought process of you on October 26th sitting there and being no, I know exactly what I'm going to share on the podcast. It kind of kills me.
Specifically, I was at the airport, so this note was made on October 26th at 4:58 a.m.
Right.
And I said, I got it.
Right.
Got it. I know what I'm going to talk about next week on the pod.
Right.
And guys, I survived. And Peebs is home
you.
safe, and I was so happy to return. But you know what? It is this was huge for me. And every single morning and every single night, I reached for where's Peebs. And the thing is, Peebs was originally used for blanket purposes. Peebs is now just a comfort item, right? Peebs is, it's caused some tension because the other person that lives in my household has tried to use Peebs as a blanket before, and I'll walk in and be like, it's not a blanket, and you know that. And Peebs is more of a texture thing, so when I reach around in the morning, I don't even need my glasses. It's just oh, where's Peebs? And I feel for Peebs. And anyways, I'm just feeling very proud of myself. And I don't know the next time that
And
will
I'm
happen.
very proud of you.
I think the thing was about this trip specifically is that I wasn't going somewhere. A lot of times in the past few years, I'm like traveling to visit family or something, where if I leave Peebs, I can get Peebs back very easily.
Right.
But if I leave Peebs in Mexico, Peebs is stuck in Mexico.
Right.
And I could not have that happen.
And Peeps doesn't know Spanish. That would have been game over.
I can't. Peebs would be so confused. Peebs wouldn't know where I was. And I can't even think about that. Anyways, that's how I've been. And let's get into this episode. You know what? If I was on Survivor, Peebs would not come with. I wouldn't even bring Peebs
You'd
to
be like,
Ponderosa.
Jeff, I gotta be on the Pink Tribe.
Actually, you know what I just thought about in this moment that I should have considered? I have like, at one point Peebs ripped a little and I kept the piece. I think if I were to go on Survivor, I obviously wouldn't bring that on the beach with me, but I think I would bring that little piece to Ponderosa with me. That's my good luck charm.
That is not my dog. No.
That's not my
That's a
problem.
new one for the podcast. I was gonna say, you should, like, girl, like, is that serious at the end of the day? How they, you know, sometimes people trick the merch tribe into doing a name that means something.
Yes.
You should do that with Peebs.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway.
Anyways, let's jump into this episode. What a silly beginning. Okay. So, do you have any thoughts on this episode before we get into it?
The mother off happened, and I felt like it was worth.
It delivered.
There's something poetic about it being 3 different tribes and it culminating in this moment. Something so fun about it being a tribe of 4 people. This Shannon and Sage mother off. I think it delivered, and I think Merge is next episode.
Yeah, which I wanted to talk about.
And I feel like this is a good sort of wrap up of a good wrap up storyline ending pre-merge. I think on a storytelling production level, it's like, okay, this is wrapped up. We can enter a whole new, as I'm sure Jawan will say, because Jawan said the Act 1 quote on the premiere episode. I'm sure we're going to get an Act 2 quote next episode. And we're entering Act 2, whole new storyline, whole new group of characters. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
We've been saying this whole time that we're just like, we're not hating on this season. Some people are not liking it, but I think it's.
I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on them doing 3 tribes for 1 episode?
I don't mind it. I'm not adamantly against it. I think that it adds one more shakeup to what the new era has been so formulaic up until this point, and I think it provides a good shakeup for this cast not to expect what's happened the prior 8 seasons, 7 seasons. And so I think it's nice to keep them on their toes in a good way, because I think in the new era, Survivor has tried to put them on their toes and not in ways that are unfortunate. And so I think this is a good way to go about keeping players on their toes. I think it also gives players options to create bonds before the merge.
Yes.
Which I think is important, because going into, we're already being presented this like Hina versus Uli war, and I think I'm sure it's still going to be tribe lines as much as the edit tries to make it seem like things can be more fluid, but
I like giving them the opportunity.
Giving the opportunity to talk and meet each other, I think, is exciting.
And I kind of like that it being a tribal council with only 4 people, it kind of like not forces you, but it really encourages people to do things that are riskier that they maybe wouldn't have had the opportunity to do otherwise. That makes the dynamics of their game and tribe dynamics interesting and like coming back together and like forming trust with people that you otherwise wouldn't have. And like you get to make interesting moves because there are so few people that
there's nowhere to hide.
I don't know. Yeah, I think so I liked it. I almost wish we could have had maybe like 2 episodes. I don't know. With the 3 tribes, but hey, I can't be too upset because MC made it out of that. And I was very scared for her.
Another great episode for MC.
Yes. Okay, so let's get into it. We open on Hina coming back to camp after voting Jason out at Tribal, and the group is happy to have kicked the OG Hinas out and say that they are now 5 strong. Jawan says that if they don't merge and they have to go to Tribal again, he thinks Sophie should be on the chopping block. But Savannah in her confessional says that he doesn't know it, but he is the one to go if they go to Tribal again. And his dedication to his Ulis and like keeping them in every single thought is so interesting.
I was going to say the exact same thing. We'll get there later when it's Steven, Shannon, Sage, and him. But this group mindset, I'm like, where is this coming from? Because none of your other Uli members are really like really pro Uli. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
it's interesting, but I agree. It's kind of blinding in a way. Yes. I feel like Jawan would play much more clearly if he wasn't so committed to this. Because I'm like, okay, even if so, you stick to an Uli strong, which is fine, whatever. You are not on top of Uli. And I feel like he, from what we were presented and the original tribes, he knows he's not on top of Uli. And maybe he thinks he's in a better place now because, like, he was swapped with a lot of the Uli people compared to, like, Shannon and Sage who weren't. But I feel like he wants this majority Uli so bad, but I'm like, you don't benefit from that. A majority Uli benefits Savannah, it benefits Rizzo and Nate more than it will ever benefit you. So to me, and I think what your point saying it's an interesting thought is like, okay, you want this so bad and you're working towards it so bad. To whose benefit? Because it's not your benefit. And I think you know it's not your benefit.
I know. I think he sees it as maybe the safe option to like keep him in the game longer potentially, but then he doesn't have like the other information that people are not vibing with him the way he's vibing with them. After that, we have the intro, and then we head to a challenge where, gag on this, 3 tribes are set up to run this. First, Jeff checks in with Alex on how things are going and how people are managing in the heat. And Alex says that even after their winner chicken dinner, they're having a hard time in this sort of climate.
Oh, and that pisses the girls off.
Savannah says under her breath, that's so effing annoying. Shut up.
Savannah is not impressed with a lot of the people in this game.
I love her and her attitude. And I love that we get to see her have these like under her breath moments that the camera picks up on with everyone there. Like,
it's very Camilla 2.0. Camilla!
It is. I love that she doesn't just save it for confessionals. Like, she is letting that sort of attitude. Simmer. Yes, it's there and I love it. Then Jeff says that they have merged at 12 before, but we're actually going to go ahead and divide that number by 3, so drop your buffs.
Oh, gag. Literally. Take my breath away. Literally.
And
oh, and it does.
And it does. The girls were not expecting this, and they are not happy to see this. The vibes, if they could have, it's impressive that they could get any lower than people already being hungry and tired and hot. But on New Kella, we have Steven, Shannon, Sage, and Jawan. On New Uli, it's Alex, Sophie, Nate, and Christina. On New Hina, we have MC, Sophie, Rizzo, and Savannah. And this is a wild switch up. Okay, as much as I'm happy that it's over, assuming from the preview for next episode, I am sad that we didn't get to see these play out a little more because these were really interesting switch ups dynamics. Yeah. But also during this, we get a lot of shots of Christina struggling, and so she takes a moment to sit down and get some water, and they have the doc pop in to check in on her. What's up, doc? And sorry.
And keep that in. Editor, keep that in.
Riverside.
Riverside, keep that in, please.
And they also run some vitals and tests on her and help her get resituated. And she shares that she is missing home, feeling all of the feelings, very overwhelmed, but she is ready to continue on her journey.
So did she have like a panic attack? Like,
that's what it seems like. I'm not entirely sure.
And Christina, I have nothing negative to say about Christina. She has had nothing happen that I'm like, I have a negative opinion of you. You seem like a very amazing woman. You're living out your dream. I can respect that. But every time she pops on screen and she makes a game decision or something like this happens, I think how she, in her pregame, was like, I am going to be the next Suri. I'm going to be the next Suri Fields. And every time, I'm just like, girl, you came in wanting to be Suri Fields, and you are giving us nothing of the sort. You had a panic attack over a tribe swap. Obviously, it sounds like there were other contributing factors. Specifically, like, it was probably already a hard day for her, thinking about her family and things like that. And the panic of swapping tribes when you thought you would be merging. Additionally, swapping into the minority on a 4-person tribe. Like, okay, I can understand all these factors, but Steven was also on the bottom of his tribe. Nate was on the bottom of his tribe. Like, there were a lot of people who MC literally on the bottom of her tribe. A lot of people were swap screwed in the moment. Like, a lot of people were not positioned very well at all. And it was just, I was like, oh, this is a lot. This is a lot of emotion for Safe.
I'm interested to see how she does throughout the rest of her game. She's been an interesting character. She started off being very, like in that premiere episode, very very I don't like nature.
Right.
And then it almost feels like because she hasn't gone to tribal or like really, I don't know, I'm not saying like a lot of game or like getting accustomed to being there yet, which is interesting because they've been there for like multiple days, over a week now. So I'm just interested to see where this takes her.
I think her main problem is she hasn't gone to tribal yet, so she hasn't had to play the game. But I think it'll be a unfortunate rude awakening once they go to tribal council altogether, because she really has no game relationships. Her and Sophie, Yellow Tribe Sophie, really, I mean, and people are like, oh, well, MC hasn't gone to a single tribal either, but MC has positioned herself well amongst many people and shown herself to everybody to be a competitor. And so there's already that that symbolism of MC. People are like, oh, she's a physical threat. MC isn't going to have to build an ego up or build a story up for herself.
That's interesting. I hadn't even thought about that because from day one, MC has been playing the game like strategically, and she's been aware of where she stands on her tribe with other people. And I guess we just haven't seen that from Christina. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. Also, this does not have to do with Christina necessarily, but I am over the Uncle Jay nonsense. Uncle Jay, Uncle Jeff.
And you know what? Bring it over to Big Brother and Julie. Aunt Julie.
Yeah.
Our Mama J.
Sorry, I just like really hate it.
Jeff's not your friend.
He's not, like, who called him Mr. Jeff?
I can't remember.
Jonathan? Yeah. I think like that. Okay, not to give him like any praise.
Oh, you want to give him a platform?
Well, he's about to have one on Survivor 50. I think like be creative with it in yourself. Like, I'm sure other people have called him Mr. Jeff before, but this specific season really is like heavily playing into the Uncle Jeff thing, and I'm just sort of over it. Anyways, then Jeff sort of lifts everyone's spirits up by announcing that this is the first reward challenge of the season. And how exciting. They have to work together to push a heavy cart, collect some sandbags, climb a ladder to knock off some discs, and then use the discs to knock off some targets. The reward is grilled cheese, potato chips, iced tea, and chocolate brownies. And then the second place gets just the grilled cheese, and then nothing for the losers. This It was a fine challenge. At some points, the tribes would fall behind, then catch up. But in the end, Rizzo locks in. He says, give me those frisbees. And he knocks them all down pretty fast. And they have quite the winning lead over everyone else. But then Uli comes back from behind and gets second. And your Sophie gets her first meal back at camp after this win.
I'm so happy for her. MC said that they had salt and vinegar chips, and that's what they were eating. And she said after that reward, I was like kind of addicted to salt and vinegar chips. I can't imagine. Do you like salt and vinegar chips?
Yes.
So I'm sort of looking for a new podcast partner.
But there's a time and place for them. Like, I like them on a sandwich.
My time and place is never a nowhere.
Okay.
So how about that?
I like them on a sandwich because I feel like they bring a lot of flavor, but on their own, I'm not going to gravitate toward them.
Right.
You know what's really good that I've been into? I've been flying Delta, like, almost exclusively the past, couple years.
Oh,
They
she's flying Delta.
They give out the little mini garden salsa sun chips. Mm-hmm. Oh, those slap.
Love a sun chip.
I love a sun chip.
Me too.
Anyways, period. We first go to the Hina beach, and they are so happy to be there at that beautiful beach with a nice camp and a real meal. Sophie specifically feels like a new person with some food in her system. And MC does a really good job at acknowledging how dangerous the position she's in is with this new group. They are already all in an alliance, and she also does not have a vote because she has not lost a challenge and had to go to tribal. So she hasn't even had the opportunity to look for her title. So she gets to work making bonds and talking to Rizzo, and she is like, hey, just BTW, everyone knows about your idol, and I wanted to bring that information to you. And he appreciates this coming from MC, but he has an interesting sort of comment about this. He says that he isn't really that upset that everyone knows about it because he likes, as a man, instilling fear in people.
Rizzo, baby, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Money, nobody's scared of you. Like, I have to say, like...
I thought that was funny, and then imagine him later in the episode in his little swimming fins.
It's hard to be scared of somebody who just, like, always gives little brother energy.
Always.
He's older than me, and I'm like, you give little brother vibes.
That's the RIZGOD you're talking about.
Where's God, the man, the myth, the legend?
Yeah. Not the god of water, though. We'll get to that. No. Then we go to Uli, and they're eating their little grilled cheeses with mystery cheese. People don't seem to know what that is. Christina says that she is happy with where she's sitting on her new tribe since she's already close with Sophie and Alex. And then it's sort of Nate who is on the outs here, and he knows that he needs to connect with his new tribe. He wants to establish an honesty narrative for himself, so he goes into sharing the story of what happened with his most recent tribe. Was that Hina?
Yeah.
Yes. Using the same 3 tribe names multiple times has been
killing us.
Yeah.
Girl, they
really
said,
tough for the
podcasters. They said, podcasters, y'all talk too much.
Yeah, quiet down now. Anyways, so he sells the idea that Matt was an easy first vote, which it was, and which is true. But then he wants to spin the narrative that he is willing to work with people over tribe lines, and that the Jason vote was really hard, and he was really sad to see him go because he was working with him, which is, of course, a lie. These new tribe mates do not necessarily believe this, though. They catch on really fast and are like, once they get a moment without him, that's not adding up. And who was he actually working with? Because it's gotta just be his Uli strong people. Like, there's no way that story makes any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all, and they're right for clocking it because why would Matt's vote be easy, but then Jason's be really difficult? Like, if you really wanted, like, if you wanted more fluidity in your game, the options were there.
I thought it was funny when he was saying that Matt was the easy vote, and they're all like, right. Well, right.
Well, right. No,
Of
well,
course.
yes.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Well, yes.
That was very funny.
Clap your hands if you would have voted Matt off.
Clap if she should suffer. All right, moving on. We go to the Kella tribe finally, and immediately there's a chicken jailbreak, and they have to catch them.
Survivor pisses me off. How are you going to give chickens as a reward and then not give them a proper way to keep the chickens?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's not the player's fault.
No, what are they supposed to do? They're living on a beach that's been lived on the past multiple years. There's not like an abundance of
supplies.
Things to even get that creative with. Well, then we have Steven, who gets to work on forming a relationship with Jawan because he is the one Hina with 3 former Ulis. And these two, they just nerd out. Just guys being dudes. And it was pretty cringe to watch, I'm not gonna lie. When they were like chest bump. You're done.
Y'all, not all men are meant to chest bump. That's all I'm gonna say.
But Steve, I gotta respect the game. He said, you know what? Me and Jawan, we're gonna be friends. And I'm gonna play into this.
They're kind of us-coded if you think about it.
Yeah? In what ways? Speak on that.
Well, they are just 2 people who get along.
Yeah.
It's like us if you think about it.
Yeah. That's
Sometimes.
sort of like... Right.
Oh, let go.
I'm leaving that in. Shannon.
Riverside, keep that.
Shannon. I like how we're acting like Riverside edits the podcast.
You talk. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Shannon then tells Jawan that they should stay Uli strong and keep Steven comfortable. Guys, I think Riley might be yelling at his dogs. Shannon,
fuck my fat chungus life.
Shannon then tells Jawan that they should stay Uli strong and keep Steven comfortable, but really, if they have to go to a vote, it should be him. Jawan says, I hear this. And despite seemingly liking Steven, he wants to stay Uli strong and keep those numbers, which is crazy, and vote Steven out.
I don't get it.
No. Then we go to Uli. Alex goes fishing and is just enjoying nature and all that. And then at camp, Christina, Sophie, and Alex say that they want to make Nate comfortable. But Christina says that Sophie should be the decoy vote, which is the biggest red flag to her.
And this is the moment
why would you say that?
I'm like, girl, you want to be Sari Fields, and this is your strategy. This is the first look of strategy you've had in not 7 episodes. Is this episode 5?
6.
6. In 6 episodes, and this is the first strategic move I see from you. It's a chop. It's a chop for me.
Telling someone to their face that they're the decoy vote.
To their face in a tribe of 4 people. You know how easy the vote they can get the vote to flip on you?
Sorry, when has that ever worked and played out in someone's favor?
I'm like, girl, that's literally, I think that is the move more than any other move that happens in the history of Survivor that will light an instant fire under someone's butt.
Yeah, because obviously. And if it didn't light a fire under their butt, we should be concerned about them.
Yeah. I'll let you use me as the decoy vote. That makes sense, actually.
That actually is exactly what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking. And then Nate plays a shot in the dark and I go home. Yes!
Perfect.
Yes!
Perfect. No. Okay.
Me when I #love the sound of that.
And moving on. Sophie then decides, okay, I need to get close to Alex. She says, screw the other Sophie, who Alex is close with. She's the new Sophie, and they need to look into what to do about Christina in the long run, because this is not going to work for her.
Not too much on my Sophie queen. Not too much.
Right. We go back to Kella then, and Jawan, Sage, and Shannon are talking. And Shannon is continuing this God talk, and I wrote, feeling #blessed to be on the tribe with Sage and Jawan.
Right.
Then Shannon and Steven are talking, and she wants to connect with him and maybe work together going forward. She's trying to build relationships outside of her group. Shannon is then ready to lean into her, quote, friendship with Sage at this point, which Sage is not buying anything coming out of Shannon's mouth, especially since Shannon had been throwing her name out the entire time they were on the last tribe together. Like, this is not real. And it's so hilarious watching Sage try to pretend like Shannon and her are friends.
I agree.
She can't keep it in.
She hides it really well, though. I mean, like, Shannon has no sus of it.
Which is so, like, good on Sage, because she is
Right.
fully making these faces with Shannon right there.
Right.
And not a single hint. I feel like maybe Sage's, like, body language and energy of that, she's had it this entire time, so I think
Part of it comes off as just like that's who she is.
That's just who Sage is.
I also think that a part of her having those instant reactions, I think part of it gets the negative energy out, right?
Yes.
So it's like I'm not carrying sarcastic tone because I immediately after you say something I'm rolling my eyes, like I'm getting that energy out.
Yes.
To use Shannon's logic a little bit.
Yes. I also love that there's a moment where they're like holding a big bundle of sticks and Shannon wants to hug Sage. She goes, I would hug you, but I think I would end up stabbing you. And I don't think she was talking about the sticks.
Right.
Then we move to Hina.
Is this the part where Shannon goes, okay, I'll see you down there, smoochies. And she goes, mwah. And then Sage goes, mwah. So he goes, mwah, and they do it like 4 times. It's so funny.
Makes the disgusted face.
See you down there.
I love her. Yes, it was around then, I believe. Then we go to Hina, and Rizzo is ready to have his... What was that? Is that Bluey?
No, this is Chili Dog. It was Chili Dog. And then I squeezed all of her paint off. So now it's just
Sorry,
orange.
you did what to Chili Dog?
I don't think her name is Chili Dog. That's just what I call her. I have a... Now we getting into...
Are you a Bluey
Move
fan?
on. Okay. Just move on. Just vote. Just vote.
We'll get into Riley and Bluey on the Patreon.
Right. You guys want to know my relationship with the show Bluey?
Riley was actually
Patreon.
Bluey for Halloween.
I was.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we go to Hina, and Rizzo is ready to have his Aussie moment and feel like Poseidon and catch some fish in the water. So he takes a stroll down to the beach in his flippers, of course, instead of just taking them off once he realized he couldn't walk in them and then sort of walking down to the beach, putting them back on. He said, no, I'm going to make this trek. And I love the commitment to the bit, I have to say. I was entertained. Unfortunately, he does fail miserably at all.
I'm just like, the way that you went about this, like every single point, it was the wrong choice.
When he like falls into the water. And then he takes off the flippers and he's like, these are not helping. Has he ever... Did he not, like, take swim lessons or something as a kid?
I don't know. Should I call him up?
Yeah. He was kind of scaring me when he was using the little,
I know. He was, like... The way that he was using it as, like, a walking stick, I was like, girl, this is about to end. We're about to have another travesty on the beach.
For real. So he's lucky to have made it out of that alive. But, what he realizes, hey, maybe I'm not the god of water. I am the Rizgod, and that is okay.
That's okay.
And that is me.
That's really uplifting.
It is.
And then did you hear in the background, This Is Me from The Greatest Showman started playing?
Yes. It was crazy that they got the rights for that.
I know. I think infamously that movie is, like, terrible to get rights from. Infamously.
Uh-huh. Hugh Jackman himself had to write it off.
This is me. That's my Hugh Jackman impression. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, then when MC is away from the group for a moment, Rizzo rallies the troops with Savannah and Sophie. I'm so sick of these S names. I'm glad we lost one tonight because it's actually driving me crazy. And I feel like I keep getting tripped up on my words. They go to look for the advantage, and Sophie ends up finding it and decides not to tell Savannah and Rizzo about it since she is working with them now, but she might not be in a few days. Queen, thank you.
Pick. That's my winner pick. And it's a knowledge is power too. Like, literally, the minute you tell somebody, all power is lost of the advantage.
Yes.
I mean, you can argue with any advantage, but I feel like knowledge is power the most.
Yes. I feel like knowledge is power is like, if other people know about it, it's a lot harder to actually even use it. Because you need to just be able to, like play Clue on your own, you know?
Right. Wait, the way you can't see any of it. The sky is orange right now. Oh, you can kind of see it off of my face.
Oh.
This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come.
Also, if anyone needs a refresher, the knowledge is power advantage means that at tribal council, she can, at one tribal council, she only gets to use it once. She can ask one person if they have an idol, and if they have it, they have to tell the truth, whether they have it or not. Which is awesome.
This is 2 episodes in a row we're doing Survivor 41 flashbacks, but flashback to the iconic moment where Liana tried to use her knowledge as power on Xander, and Xander said, I don't have one, you can have this fake idol.
I love it. Oh, okay, wait, we should, maybe not like this coming summer. We should do a 41 rewatch at some point.
The girls aren't ready. Get our Queen Tiff, we can get her on the rotation, have her...
Oh, because we've been in her DMs since season was airing.
41. Like, not even like during the season, we've been there since day one. Like, y'all can't play like we play.
We get to the immunity challenge. Sorry, I'm waving my pen around. They have to race over a net.
Race?
Move and then climb some sandbags to collect materials to build a pole, to retrieve a key, to get a ball, to complete a puzzle maze. A table ball maze. Losing tribe goes to tribal. We get into it. It's fine.
It's fine.
Hina gets a nice lead. Uli falls behind, but then it comes down to the table maze, and Hina wins immunity. Sophie gets to sit out from tribal, finally.
Work. And
Kella quite literally drops the ball a few times, sort of dramatically. And Uli ends up catching up in the maze and comes in second, sending Kella to tribal.
I have to say, of the 3 tribes, Kella is the one that I was most interested in seeing go to tribal.
Yes.
So I'm fine with that. We have a quick comment on Christina's challenge performance. Her inability to form the stick or whatever was crazy. The point, obviously, she ends up like really coming through for her tribe, but the swinging it back and forth in hopes that something was happening, like, that would have sent me. I'm sorry, Christina. Yeah. Again, you seem like a lovely person, so kind and so nice. If I was behind you watching you do that, I would have yelled at you in a very mean way. I actually probably would have gotten a little nasty. I'm sorry, on national television, I probably would have gotten nasty.
We go back to the Kella beach, and Shannon and Jawan take a walk, and she says that she is locked in with him and Sage, but really she wants to work with Steven to take out Jawan tonight. Steven is like, okay, Shark Shannon is full out at this point. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And this episode was interesting because we didn't hear a lot from Steven at all, like, in all of this. So, you know, the context of, like, the past episodes with him and her have, like, built up to this as well, which is kind of fun. And then we have Sage and Shannon talking, and Shannon pitches keeping Steven for his Hina connections in the future, which that does make sense. But once again, it is Shannon playing hard, playing everyone, being kind of, you know, playing both sides. Sage in her confessional says that her plan is to actually get Shannon out tonight and is sick of watching her, you know, sort of play these both sides and all of the sister BS. She is over. She could not be more over it at this point. And she says that it is worth the risk of blowing up her spot with other old Hina and other people, her other relationships over this, because she cannot continue to work with Shannon or even have her around. So she starts by filling in Jawan with Shannon's plan to vote him out tonight, which shocks him, and he is so grateful that Sage brought this info to him, but he still is weary of voting her out because then he would lose trust with his other OG Ulis.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, girl, you can't... Like, do you think that they haven't been scheming against you? Like, I'm just like, girl, like...
Right. At the end of the day, like, you're not with them. I'm so sorry to say.
Even if it's the OG Ulis to the end, only one of you can win. And at some point, you're going to have to distance yourself.
And play your own game. Yeah. Then Sage also has a little talk with Steven before travel, and filling him in on the plan, but we really don't get a lot of coverage of this. And then we finally get to Tribal Council. Do you have anything to say before this?
Your mama?
Your mom. Right. First, they talk about how there is nowhere to hide on a tribe of 4. Shannon talks about leading her tribe in meditation and keeping everyone's hearts open. I forgot to mention at some point in this episode, she also does share the whole, like, remembering being in the womb thing.
Girl, I'm sorry. Like, another moment where I probably would have been nasty on live television. I probably would have been in confessional being like, this girl is crazy.
Yes. I would not. Maybe we did get some interesting confessionals from Steven and other. I can't imagine what Sage would have had to say about this. I'm guessing we just did not get to see it.
I'm guessing it was mean. I'm guessing it was really bad.
And you know what? This might have been a tipping point. A breaking point for some. It certainly would be for me. If I was questioning anything, that statement alone, I know we've even talked about it from her preseason interview, but that would send me over the edge. Steven says, he has an open heart, as that's, Shannon says that, that's what they've been working on as a tribe, and having good communication, open hearts, all of that. Sage says that she is also an open person, and guys, she was actually hoping to have a yogi on her tribe. And you know what? God just put Shannon on her tribe in that spot. It was meant to be. It was meant to be. And then Jawan is asked about having an open heart, and he's like, yeah, I guess, but also we are all playing hard. I don't really know.
Right.
And Jeff's like, well, you're being kind of cagey about that. And he's just like, I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I can't expose all my secrets.
Right. They also talk about wanting to make it to the merge and divides based on original tribe lines, testing alliances at tribal versus all the talk what happens before ever going to one, and all of those sort of things. You can tell that the merge has been on everyone's minds. I think they all thought that that's where they were going to be. But that brings us to the vote. Jawan gets the first vote, but then as soon as that first Shannon is read, she seems to know that is her going home tonight. On her way out, Shannon goes to give each of them a hug, and Sage says she's just going to give her a handshake right now because a hug would not be genuine, but she hopes to give her one at some point in the future. And that is a queen. She did not let her crown tip.
No, she didn't.
And Sage, after Shannon walks away, says that she can finally breathe. And I'm so happy for her. I'm happy.
This is me.
I could not be happier that she won the mother off.
I'm happy that it ended up working out. She's had some really great episodes, I feel like. The last 3 episodes have been very good for Sage, and I really hope that this continues into the merge.
Yes.
I'd be afraid of people like Savannah, the voting block of Savannah, Rizzo, and Nate. I think that could be scary. They could be fearful of what Sage could do and potentially target her now. Mm-hmm. But I'm happy with how the story ended,
And I'm happy it ended now and didn't drag on into the merge. Like, I'm ready for a new chapter for Sage, and to watch her
Right.
get to like play the game without this
Right, without
person
having to worry about
around.
Sage. Literally since day one, they have not been separated.
Yes. So I'm really excited for her. And that wraps up this episode. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was fun. I love watching people like have to feel like they need to scramble a little bit to form some alliances really fast. And just like what that means for the merge and the rest of the game.
I'm really hoping that there's no mergatory next episode. I hope that this sort of third swap this season means that we're not getting mergatory.
Please. Can I also say something?
Be brave.
I'm really glad
That's why we have a podcast.
Don't have Shannon on the jury.
I know, that would have been, especially if she was the first member of the jury.
Yeah.
That would have been devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating in a bad way. Like, I could imagine. Yeah.
Could you
Those
imagine
first jurors are really important in gauging the narrative of the jury for the season.
And I wouldn't want her like at Ponderosa doing all her stuff the whole time, like her God meditation.
Girl, I don't
want
to meditate with you. I want a fried chicken sandwich with garlic aioli and french fries on the side. Like, leave me alone.
Right, like I don't think people would ever get to step out of it. I think she would be that way the whole time. So, Goodbye, Shannon.
Goodbye, yellow brick road. I think it was a fun episode. I'm really excited for merge. I hope things start spicing up, and I think there's gonna be a real culture shock for players like Christina. I know MC has been playing, but she hasn't gone to tribal yet. Players like MC and Steven and Sophie, IE, who have not yet gone to tribal, that are gonna have there's gonna be a little bit of like a culture shock.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, this game has been being played. Like, things have been moving and grooving.
Yes, whether I was there or not.
Right.
Well, that wraps up this episode of the Making Fire podcast. If you had a great time, be sure to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Do you have any ideas?
Leave us the comment what your favorite, what color you think looks best on me specifically.
Okay, that's perfect. And in the meantime, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Making Fire Pod, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
I can't wait to see how this goes out. Mwah!